In October of 2020, one of the most important decisions made for Judea and Samaria took place between the United States and Israel. It was during a stormy election period in the United States as well as in Israel. But this took place long ago, back in the 1970s. The binational funding was raised up between the United States and Israel in the areas of science and industry and agriculture. These binational funds, which began with about $200 million, became the basis of collaboration between our two countries. It opened up the scientific research in such a way that it led to Israel becoming what is called a startup nation in technology, in science, and in medicine. The U.S. Israel collaboration grew through this binational funding and reached a tipping point in the 80s where we received about $8 billion in subsidy as a result of just being connected with Israel. There was a discriminatory clause inside the binational funding partnership between the United States and Israel, and it was about Judea and Samaria. So the funding could apply to Greater Israel, but Judea and Samaria was outside of the eligibility for that funding. Prime Minister Netanyahu and our U.S. Ambassador David Friedman met on the hills of Samaria and righted a historical wrong. They amended this binational funding agreement, allowing for research for the very first time to take place in Judea and Samaria at the University of Ariel. This is the most extraordinary opportunity for Judea and Samaria to have the inbreaking, some sort of break in the paradigm between the U.S. and Israel as it concerns this area, allows Israel to think into the future about business and industry, how to play into the hands of the Jordanians and the Palestinians and to cause them to prosper. The sky is the limit. The U.S. Israel Education Association was able to do the research for a period of 8 years. We worked alongside Israel's government, the United States Congress, and then finally with the U.S. administration to be able to bring this issue to the fore and to open up the doors to remove the U.S. boycott off of Judea and Samaria.